It's only almost 10 minutes late, but you know, I had Prism continually shutting down on me. I'd go 3, 2, 1 and it would shut down. 3, 2, 1 and it would shut down. And I was starting to think that there might have been a conspiracy theory. You know, everybody loves a good conspiracy. Do they? I don't know that I do love a good conspiracy. I'd prefer that there weren't anything to be a conspiracy over in the first place. Anyhow, today I'm going to be sketching page 5 of Motivate Man. It's not this page, this is the last page I did, and you might have seen the coloured version of this on my Instagram page. I'm just checking I've got good some coming through on Twitter, that's great, Periscope, Twitter and YouTube. I'm all here and wanting to chat if anybody's there, but I'm gonna start getting into my drawing, and if anyone jumps in on the chat, I would love to hear your input. Today's illustration, page 5, Crumpet's going to be running away from some nasty folk. His stationery, basically, because he's having some issues drawing. I know if you know, I got a pair of scissors here. You know why I got a pair of scissors? Because the scissors is one of my monsters. Not really a monster, but you know, a piece of stationery that is a bit scary. And so I'm just going to start going on this. I've got my initial drawing. So I've got stationery chasing Crumpet. Now, I decided that I'd probably go for a different pair of scissors than what I had on the initial one. The first pair of scissors I had was kind of like the one with the long handle for all your fingers. But this one, you know, I can draw little eyes in here, and that kind of might work better. So I'm going to give that a go. I'll just head back and see if anyone's in the chat yet. No one's in the chat. But I should have got my glasses. Why did I not bring? Why do I always forget my glasses? Are they here? Are they in my bag? No, drawing blind. That's it. Oh well. So go like so. So I need to kind of have these characters chasing them. I might need to angle this a bit in post. So now kind of need to. This is quite trickier than I originally thought, actually doing a proper pair of scissors. That's meant to be a pair of scissors that works. Now this one blade goes over the top. Like so. Hey Adi Morbid, how you doing? Yeah, so I missed your stream last night. I ended up sleeping. Sorry. And but yeah, I'm kind of not sure where to go with my content, because I'm creating a. You're doing good. That's awesome, man. I'm kind of wondering where to go with my content on YouTube with the whole new kids kids policy stuff, because I'm creating kids books, you know, but for videos and the documenting of my journey, I would say I can't imagine any 13-year-olds, under 13-year-olds, watching this stuff. I imagine maybe parents or might have an interest, maybe, but it's certainly not something that's created for kids. And I'm gonna just really quickly run and get my glasses. And I'm back. I'm back. So I'm just kind of wondering, your illustrations as for kids, it does some nasty stuff to your channel, like takes away your comments, takes away your end screen, you can't monetize, you can't put your videos in a playlist. Your videos are just pretty much floating around in a void of nothingness, and all to kind of prevent you from getting a massive fine. I forget how much it is. It's a lot of money. It's basically a per video fine, and it's the kind of money which would completely break me, would devastate me if I got one fine. so as you can see, I'm probably a little bit concerned. I don't know, I think there's some people that might tend to think it's all, you know, a lot of hype over nothing, but I certainly wouldn't want to receive that notice that like I'd find it bad enough that I had my channel shut down, let alone copping a giant fine. So I'm not really, I mean, I know that my content is, my videos aren't designed for kids, but will a robot? Because I imagine initially it's all going to be, you know, the algorithm scanning the content and going, oh, there's kids in the title here, and there's kids in here, and he says kids. Here I am in the video saying kids, 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 kids. It must be a kids video. Therefore, he hasn't labelled it as such. I am just gonna shut that down. And you can understand my worry here. So I'm half tempted to just go, okay, any videos where I mention kids in, I'm just gonna turn it off. Turn it on. Turn on the thing that it's made for kids, even though it's not really, just to be safe. I also heard people will make a look too. People will take a look too, not just AI. Yeah, I mean, I imagine if a person had a look, they would understand that it's not kid stuff. But, you know, going that a robot's going to probably see it first, AI is going to see it first, it's going to flag you, and, you know, as far as I know, it's pretty hard to communicate with YouTube. So if you've got a, if you feel like you've been wrongly striked, I mean, who knows how long all that's going to take. But so I'm half tempted to just label anything that I mention kids stuff in or kids books in, to just make it content for kids. Frank Arimor, actually FTC has a team of people that will survey content once it's launched on January. Okay. Yeah. I'm hoping this doesn't, because like there's quite a few people out there that illustrate kids books. I've reached out to a couple, haven't heard back yet, because I kind of approached some big ones, just asking them, like, how are you actually going to list your content when this comes in? Because I really don't have any idea. And you know, their channels, which would be monetizing it, their channels, and actually probably making quite a bit of money from their channels as well. Whereas monetization part of it's not really something which I can see would be part of my illustrations for a while, my channel for a while. It's just the fact, I think the biggest loss would be the loss of community, like so I get no feedback which for me is one of the great things of YouTube, is feedback and community, and to lose that is massive. My opinion is everything's going to be fine. It's definitely hitting a lot of folks. Yeah, I know, my whole feed is basically filled up with FTC and coppa, FTC, coppa, kids, you know, all this kind of stuff. And I'm not going to hold you to this if I get a fine. But if you were me doing what I'm doing, would you label my videos as kids videos? Just, you know, just as a matter of interest. Because I don't know, I don't really have many people to ask this kind of stuff, so I thought I'd come online, put out the word, see if anyone was available for a chat, and just get some opinions. Not that I'm going to hold you to it. Like if I go to court or whatever, and I said, but Frank Garcia said it'd be fine. So I did it. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm just being silly. But yeah. And as well as it being, you know, I don't mind the workload. I don't mind the fact that I've got about 230 videos that I'd have to go through and label. That doesn't really bother me, because, like, you know, in the end, if it is protecting kids, that's fantastic, you know. I'm all for it. So I wouldn't mind doing that. Danny made a good statement. The entire thing is based on the collection of data on kids' content per YouTube. They got fined on how they have shifted the responsibility. They got fined and now have shifted the responsibility to the creators. Yep. Yeah. I know YouTube copped a massive fine. Because, you know, kids were still online. Etched in stone, there is still a lot of bigger YouTubers with a Patreon to help make clearer definitions. Yeah. Yeah, so as you can see, don't know. Now my scissors here, they might look fearsome, but I think they're all wrong. I think what I have to do is I need to do a bit of work on my scissors after this, because what I need to do is kind of like twist it that way, get the perspective so it's kind of angled and on its edge, kind of like running, like it's running on its scissor tips. Hey Jamie, how you going? Or Creative 7, I imagine it's Jamie. Yeah, Cool to see you here. Yeah, I did a podcast with Jamie yesterday from Creative 7. And yeah, anyone watching the playback or Frank, definitely go and check out the Creative Spin podcast. I mean, I've been listening to it for a while now, and it's a very cool podcast talking about the creative process and that. And yesterday, they're talking to me, so that was nice. It was good fun. And yeah, so I'm just talking about the new, you know, oh cool. So sounds like Frank knows creative. I did mention you and showed your comment on my video per live stream this morning. Awesome. So yeah, I'm talking about the new YouTube rules and regulations around children's content. Could potentially be classed as children's content. You know, I'm making kids' books, for goodness sake. For goodness sakes, I'm making kids' books. But are these videos made for kids? I can't imagine any 13-year-old kid checking out my videos about documenting my journey creating a kids' book. And so yeah, I I really don't know how to label my videos. I was just saying to Frank before that might be tempted to do the ones for the books, the videos, sorry, about the kids' book, to do them as made for kids, label them as made for kids even though they're not, just to avoid a gigantic fine that you get per video if you've labelled your videos incorrectly. So I've kind of contacted a few larger illustrators and kids book illustrators about how they're going to be labelling their videos. Okay, at Frank Addymore, but earlier today Brian G. Johnson posted a positive message regarding the whole coppa thing. It's worth a watch. Yeah, I was checking out Brian G. Johnson a bit. I haven't seen that one. If it's a new video, I haven't seen that one yet. But I mean, you know, I'm not even mentioning about all these people that have based their whole business plan around creating kids content on YouTube. I imagine trying to figure out what they need to do. But I think for me it's kind of, I think maybe I just need to play it safe, maybe list these videos as, now in this initial drawing I had of a page running, I just put stick legs on. Final thing. Maybe they need some sneakers or something. Some runners. Although if they're meant to be scary, maybe they should be hairy claws. Maybe I should make the legs hairy at least. That might be a thing. A hairy-legged jogger. I can relate to that. Yeah, so play it safe. List anything that's about kids' books as a kids' video. But it's really made me think that, you know, maybe I should take IGTV a bit more seriously. And have IGTV as kind of my backup plan. Although it doesn't have searchability and stuff like that. I mean, you kind of need, I think you need a backup plan anyway. I'm kind of thinking, well, YouTube's really my only long form video content platform that I've got. Yeah, IGTV sounds like a good idea. Thanks, Frank. Yeah, because I feel I need a backup to YouTube. YouTube keep doing things that scare me, quite frankly. And it's kind of one of those organisations which, you know, I mean, they're listening to what I'm saying right now. And the fact that I said YouTube, I love you, YouTube. You know, you're great for community. I was just on the Creative 7 podcast yesterday saying that if you're a creator, an artist or whatever, you really need to be on YouTube because that's where all the community is. That's where all the creative community is. So, did you hear that, YouTube? I know you're listening. I do love you. I just want to know what to do. I just want to know how to serve the almighty algorithm and please it. I want to please the algorithm. Not in a, you know, anything wrong kind of way. See, I'm turning it into adult content just to be sure. All internet. I know they named YouTube as a main factor because they are the ones with a fine, but not sure. Yeah, I mean it's not limited to YouTube, that's for sure. But I think if your main focus is videos or podcasts or whatever, I think probably you need a backup plan to whatever you make. Now I was going to make these legs hairy, wasn't I? I have to do these again. So I'm a bit distracted talking about all this other stuff today. Hairy monster legs with running shoes. Anyway, we don't have to talk about that garbage all morning. Adi Morbid, I truly believe everything will just be good as I like to stay positive in every circumstance. A back plan is a good idea, however. Great idea. Yeah. Thanks, Frank. Yeah. Because, you know, people can turn off the taps whenever. And it's not like, you know, I'm paying for the YouTube service or anything like this. It's something that's free. It's out there. You know, it's great that it's free. You know, I think there's a bit of mindset out there that YouTube owes people something, but it doesn't owe you anything. It's a free service, so yeah, they can do what they want, and and they will. Catch you later, Jamie. Nice to see you here. Thanks for dropping in. And yeah, so like everyone gets up in arms when, you know, a social channel does something. That's because a lot of people platform. But you know, it's dangerous building your entire business model around a platform which you don't actually own yourself. So I think you got to be on as many platforms as you can manage, and be prepared to pivot. Do the old pivot thing when a platform no longer purpose. Yeah, I think, Frank, I've been caught up in the doomsday stuff. People getting very worked up, understandably. Now, I'm going to draw some eyes on this thing. Now, initially I had nasty eyes, nasty eyes. And gonna share this out. Thank you, Frank. You're awesome. So nasty eyes. I wonder if I should give him some big, big scary teeth as well. Let's get some arms. Kind of got like sleevey things that these pop out of. Ah, big scary arms. That piece of paper is going to give you a... Is that a pencil you were using? Yeah, it's just a, you know, you press this button here and the lead comes out. Otherwise I'll be sharpening my pencil every 5 seconds. As I tend to be a bit hard on my pencils. Surprisingly, I've had this one for a while. Hopefully this doesn't look like crumpet arms. They might think maybe I need to make this hair because, you know, crumpets for golden colour. He's a golden crumpet. Golden crumpets. I don't know if you have those in America. If Elijah and Crumpet were here, they would know all about what golden crumpets are. It's kind of, you got to have pointy fingers. It's a Gruffalo page. Its tongue, no, its eyes are orange, its tongue is black. He has purple prickles all over his back. Yes, exactly, that's what I'm thinking about. Frank Adi Morbid, that I love that monster in the Bugs Bunny cartoons. Kind of channeling that monster vibe from the Looney Tunes if it was a piece of paper. I really love old school animation styles. I know there's a guy who follows you, Frank, who does like old school illustrations of like a devil, and really dig his stuff. I can't remember his name now, but it's kind of that old school look. Very cool. Now, yeah, so how'd the Gruffalo go? Eyes are orange, tongue is black, has purple prickles all over his back. So he has hairy eyebrows as well. And his eyes are just black. I don't know how scary I can make my piece of paper. You know, the piece of paper up here, his name, this monster, is called Bill. Is that a dad joke? There's nothing scarier than a bill. No offense to any bills out there. But I mean, you know what I mean. Money bills. All good. All good with the dad jokes. Cool. Now, if I put a real nasty mouth on this, I did have a mouth on it before. I just don't want to make it too scary. Well, it's meant to be scary. Let's give it a go. Oh, dearie me. Now, let's try and do the opposite. While using Prism, can you add tags or have descriptions on the live stream? Well, I've actually got YouTube. I've got YouTube open as well on my laptop. But having the mobile, using the mobile as my camera kind of works better. So yeah, I can drop tags. Is there anything you want me to chuck in there? No, I think I'll keep that corner. Now, I'm kind of wondering if I keep this mouth, have the mouth completely see-through. So, you know, because, you know, he's just a piece of paper. So I don't know how scary that would be. Trying to do it as neatly as possible because I'm going to sketch over these afterwards. Maybe later when I'm colouring I'll give him red eyes or something. He doesn't really have the white of the eyes like this guy here. Anyway, time to give this other leg some hair. So how'd your live go last night, Frank? Well, it was last night for me. Everybody's live seems to be when I'm sleeping. So, unless I'm doing a late nighter, stream. Would you say this is a character development page? Yeah, potentially, yeah. I'll show you the original page. So I'm hoping that the illustrations I'm doing now I can kind of use in the final book. I just need to make my scissors more kind of running scissors. So I think a bit of angle and on the scissors a bit of different perspective to give the idea that it's kind of running along on its scissor tips might be how I get around that one. going back to so we get but you know, I'll kind of develop it as I go. But if the Elijah and Crumpet gang say, you know, I can easily go and change that. Your live went good, had a very good exchange of conversation with a bunch of folks regarding the new rules for the first 30 minutes, but eventually it switched back to the regular party as, as we always said. Oh yeah, that reminds me, I've got some coffee here. Yummy coffee. It's gone cold, but yeah, it's been really smoky here today. We had in South Australia, we have a rating system for when there's potential of bushfire, and yesterday was catastrophic on the dial, and which means basically if a bushfire starts, they're not going to be able to control it. They're going to be just, you know, basically trying to save people and save property and stuff like that. So really hot, 45-degree weather, and really strong winds. And we had about 3 or 4 fires break out across the state, and nothing too close to here, but I spent the day at home doing some illustrating at home, so close to family, because if something breaks out you basically have to get in the car and run in the opposite direction, hopefully. and so but this morning, you know, you get that smell. Well, you might not know the smell, but in Australia, when you had the smell of the gum trees that have been on fire, it's a real particular smell in the air. And yeah, it's pretty stinky this morning, even though none of the fires were close. Yeah, and we live in the hills, so we're surrounded by bushland and trees, so we gotta take this thing serious. We gotta take that shit seriously. I swore that makes this video not suitable for children. So yeah, but thankfully the temperature's dropped right down today. Only about 20 degrees today. So so hopefully they'll be able to. I think there's only one still going, but they need to get out. So so that's good. Oh, bad word, lol, yeah. And no eggplants or peaches, please. Banned fruit emojis. Things get crazy with those fruit emojis. Give them kind of like a hand pad. Yeah. Don't want a fruit emoji block. Yes, they do. I'm not sure what that one was for. It'll be interesting to see if I can do anything with these guys running along in the foreground. I'll try not to cover up this guy with his arm. And pants too. Yeah. Uh-oh, you've put pants in the comment. What happens when the moderators start putting fruit emojis in? The moderators got to crack down on those fruit emojis. Yeah, here we go. That's one scary piece of paper. With kind of a cute little bear pad or kitten pad, paw pad here. On my stream I do it constantly, yeah. Blocked comments everywhere. Let's try and make the lines of a page. Oops, I'm outside. I like drawing outside. But then I have to compete with wind. Wind chimes. And all of those things. So, do you think I should make the monster blue? I think the Bugs Bunny one was blue. Have a rapidograph. No, I haven't. Is that like when you trace around another picture and it's on like some jig, and you can copy something? No, so it's time to move on to the nasty pencil. Light blue monster. That's interesting. Some notifications here on Twitter. Fred Blumenberg. But I think that's Frank saying he's going to pop in. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, looking back at my picture, I need a pencil. And how we got the time of 43 minutes, yeah. I illustrate slow when, when I'm having a chat. But I think it's really cool. It's an illustration pen on constant flow of ink, made in Germany, expensive as heck. I started to use them a few months back. Yeah, okay. That sounds cool. I don't think I have... I don't think I have the skill to commit to ink. Ink is like quite... You need like multiple... You end up with these ink drawings which are quite scribbly. I think that's how mine would turn out. Cool, you made a video about it. Awesome. Yeah, I need to start making more videos about stuff that I'm doing. Because the tutorials seem to be good. YouTube wants the tutorials. Our Pet's Health. Hey, how's it going, Alex? Dr. Alex. Yeah. Nice to see you here. So, Dr. Alex, I know I've already covered this, Frank, but you might be aware of a new Children's Online Privacy Protection Act thing, which is happening, and it's on YouTube and all that. Basically saying you have to mark your videos as made for children or not made for children, and failure to do so, or failure to do it correctly, is going to land you with a massive fine per video. And so I'm kind of in the grey area, because I'm making books for kids, but I'm not making the videos for kids. But I imagine, like, you know, AI and all this kind of stuff is going to scan content first. I mean YouTube already knows what this video is about. They already know what I'm talking about. That it might get incorrectly flagged, even though it's not made for kids, because I talk about kids all the time, because I'm making a kids book. So I just want to know, like, and as I said to Frank, I wouldn't hold you to it, but say you're in my position, would you list your videos as the ones that I'm doing the kids book on? Would you list them as made for kids, or would you list them that they're not made for kids? I'd just love to hear people's opinions, because I'm really confused about what I should do. Now, I don't know if I've made this pencil too long. Maybe. Need to make a nasty pencil. I wonder if this pencil can have very long eyes. Something like that. There goes our train. Down here, up there, there, and the side, maybe off the side. Side for my scary eyes. And if I mucked up the white of that eye. Because I can't make it cute. It's got to be scary in this one. I'd say you are more targeting people creating, and this is Alex from Our Pet's Health. I'd say you are more targeting people creating, and so like likely an older demographic rather than doing tutorials of how to draw currently popular film characters which would attract kids. Yeah, I mean that's my tendency. I know that this stuff that I'm doing is not for kids. But as I say, the fact that I mention it in my videos, the fact that it's probably written in my titles, I'd say mark as not for kids, then no risk. I'd say mark as not for kids, then no risk, and not impacting your ideal audience. Will become more clear. Only 3% of my viewers are under 18, so I'm marking them all as not made for children. A lot of the pet content would be good for younger kids who are interested in their pets, but not worth the risk for me. Yeah, and the thing is as well, Alex, is if you do mark your videos for kids, then you lose your comments, you lose your end screen, you lose your monetization, you lose your playlists, and your videos pretty much float around YouTube not doing anything. And then there's that other videos, other scary videos I've seen out there where they've said YouTube are going to just delete channels which aren't financially viable. Well, isn't that virtually like 90% of them? Like, I don't know. I don't know if that one's complete BS. You know, you're going to delete your channel if you're not financially viable. Good Lord. It says, sounds good, plus nothing is etched in stone as yet. There is still process of making things clearer. Okay. Yeah, because things are massively unclear. I wasted quite a lot of time watching videos on the subject. And, yeah, still came out none the wiser. Now, I don't know about this mouth. It's kind of thinking you have this kind of mouth like this. And you've got the little black lead as the mouth hole. Like the pencil's being cut. If you did like about the sharp teeth on that. Maybe that's a bit much. I don't know. Maybe not sharp teeth on the pencil. That might be too much. Something like that. Maybe. Thumbs up to the stream, guys. Oh, thank you so much. If people would give a thumbs up on the stream, that would be nice. Feed that algorithm. Tell them that this is some good stuff going on here. I don't know about the... Yeah, so Dr. Alex, Our Pet's Health, so there, if you do mark your videos as for kids, it's going to affect them massively. Because, yeah, they take out the comments, take out the end screen, no monetization and no ability to put them on playlists. And that's the only ones that I can remember. They're basically taking out any interactivity, community aspect of your video. Definitely not marking as kids friendly. Yeah, okay, thanks for that, Alex. Yeah, you know, you see, I keep going. I keep thinking, yeah, I'm going to do that, and then I go, oh, no, maybe I'm not going to do that. I'm not sure. No. About. Yeah. Now I've got to do the old running legs on these guys too. I've got to put little legs on this pencil. Oh, I'm going to have time almost at an hour. Let's step up the pace. Off to see some animals now. Sorry for any brief chat. Check out the book on Kickstarter. Great. Funding is easily reached. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Alex. Thanks so much for dropping by. That's awesome. Great to see you here. Yeah, so legs on this one. Maybe, yeah, you have a great day too, Alex. I always call you Dr. Alex. Dr. Alex. Mix up the styling on the go the angry duck feet or something, frog feet. Some very strange looking monsters. Stationery monsters. Now I was thinking scales. I'm gonna hate myself for doing this. Why did I ever think of doing that? Because, you know, there's got to be scary stationery. The only thing is, they're going to have the ability to be friendly afterwards. So, but you know, I've been thinking of the whole thing about, you know, characters that might look scary aren't that actually scary when you get to know them. Thinking of doing, you know, some kids' books about friendly witches and friendly monsters and things like that. Not to judge people about the way they may look, because you know, Disney's got a lot to answer for making making people who look different, you know, be evil. So yeah, there's my mission as a. It looks like it looks like a pencil, the oh dearie me. Yeah. There you go. You're right about that. Yeah, are you talking about the oh, what we call it, stereotyping of characters that look different on Disney stuff? Well, not it's not just Disney that's responsible. It's Hans Christian Andersen, all those kind of old style nursery rhymes and books. Yeah, yeah. Now, his foot. I think it needs to kind of go this way. Yeah, I got some weird perspective going on here. Surprisingly, he's been one of my most challenging drawings yet. But I think if I have him kind of like running down the hill, might need to adjust the scissors a bit. Maybe not. Maybe not. Just need some kind of speed lines, and of course I need some arms on the poor pencil. Some knobbly knees. Knobbly and scaly knees. Yes, they could pretty much do a whole series of books on friendly monsters and, you know, The Good Witch. There's a book of The Good Witch. And she looks, for all intents and purposes, like a really scary witch. But she's just misunderstood because she's been made look evil. Reptile pencil. Yes, the pencil from the Black Lagoon. I saw that in 3D. Creature from the Black Lagoon. Man, I love those 50s black and white movies. Big fan. Could watch them all day. There's something I like about the dialogue delivery in those old 50s sci-fi and horrors and kind of noir gangster films and that. You just can't put that kind of dialogue in films these days and take them seriously. So he's going to have webbed webbed hands as well. They don't have any noses. Yeah, there was more thought in the story back then. Yeah, and things like, you know, like all those B-grade black and white movies from, not even B-grade, but black and white movies from back then. They explored so many different ideas that movies just a bit too scared to explore things like that these days. Yeah. See, back then they had to focus on the story because they didn't have the technology. Now they've got the technology. It's like, well, we don't have to focus on the story. Something like that. I do like, I don't know if you know this film director, Frank, but Guillermo del Toro. I love his, because he loves that era of filmmaking as well. And, hey Chad, how you doing? Awesome to see you here, man. I still potentially got another 10 minutes left in it. I'm creating some scary stationery for the kids book, Elijah and Crumpet kids book, Motivate Man. Ah yes, Frank, you know Guillermo del Toro, I can never quite say his name right. Pan's Labyrinth. My goodness, that was an amazing film. So I'm kind of on the same page as him in terms of old school monsters and that. I had so Chad, I just like Frank's going to get bored of me saying this now. You might be aware of a new policy on kids content on YouTube, and if you do Chat every day, yeah, Pan's Labyrinth is a great film. Yeah, I know it is. I just love it. I haven't seen The Shape of Water yet, because you know I've got kids. It's hard to get out to see scary films or potentially scary films. Also another great one. He did Mama too. That film's crazy. I haven't seen Mama. I've seen The Devil's Backbone, which was awesome as a ghost film of his. Also Crimson, but I enjoyed it. Like he doesn't always hit the mark, but Pan's Labyrinth is one where everything works in that film. I've probably watched 20 videos on the policy. Yeah, Chad, I know. Me too. I've wasted so much time. And I'm still super confused, as it appears almost everyone else is. Even watch Social Media Lawyer's video. He's confused about it. Oh yes, Chad, Devil's Backbone is my favourite. It's my favourite brewery. I'm not I'm not sure, but Devil's Backbone, yeah. Totally awesome. Yes, everyone's confused. And I don't want to necessarily hit the it's kids content thing, because I lose my comments, end screens, monetization, playlists. Not that I'm monetized, but it seems to basically, like, if you hit the for kids button, we're going to kill your channel. So yeah. So that leads me to the question, Chad, and I'm not going to hold you to it. I'm just doing a bit of a survey of people's books. But creating videos that aren't for kids, you're creating videos for other creators and illustrators and parents, then would you label videos like I'm doing, like this stuff, would you label this as for kids? Just wondering what your thoughts are on that. Because the people that are going to potentially pick all this stuff up aren't people at all. It might be like robots and just flag you, go, okay, he said kids 152 times in that video. He must be making kids content. Therefore, he hasn't labelled it as such. Therefore, we're going to fine him a ridiculous amount of money and pull down his channel. I don't know. Just interested to hear your opinion. I myself don't label, this is Chad, I myself don't label it as for kids. However, from what I've heard, it doesn't really matter what we think our content is, but it's ultimately left open to the bots and FTC. Yeah, I know, that's it. Like, and the fact that YouTube knows all your dialogue, it transcribes all your dialogue, it knows what's in your videos. And if I'm saying kids a whole bunch of times, like I am now, kids, they're going to go, okay, that's kids content. You know. This conversation hasn't helped me at all, because I had Alex from Our Pets Health come on saying, definitely don't list it as kids. You've come on saying, yeah, I would... I'd potentially list it as kids because, you know, it's what they decide, not what you decide. Yeah. Darn confusing stuff. Now, have I got room for my... Might have to do my lightning clouds separate. So, I think that's potentially my page of monsters. Chat every day. I think there are around 10 topics they have labelled as for kids, but they don't make sense as they don't really define them at all. Yeah, I know, I've seen that video, or a video like it, where they go through all the descriptions of what defines your stuff as kids content, and I'm just going, it's not really helping much. Not really helping much. And you know, there's big creators out there. There's one guy I follow, Shu Rayner, who got the silver play button just recently, and his whole channel is, he's a kids book illustrator. Well, he's an illustrator, but mainly a kids book illustrator. I've messaged him, I haven't heard back from him, and just interested to see what he'll do with his channel. Thank you so much, Frank, for hanging out. Awesome to see you and hanging out for so long, listening to me waffling away with my worries. Chat every day. I think YouTube should have done a better job at separating YouTube Kids from YouTube itself, leaving the policy to the parents and not the creators. Yeah, totally. Totally. It feels like it's something that should be more built in. It's just like, it's just like they're chucking a really big bucket of water at it. I'm not actually thinking about the consequences for anyone. It's like when, you know, they had the thing where they took all the mobile broadcast away from small YouTube creators for fear that people were going to go out. The Christchurch incident in New Zealand, which I don't know if they said that directly, but kind of brought about the thing that, you know, we need to make live streaming harder on your mobile to prevent people doing nasty, horrendous terrorist acts and filming them and broadcasting them. and so we're going to take away from all the small creators who are building communities with being able to do live streams. They just kind of blanket stuff, and you know, they don't need to really care about the small creators, but it does affect the small creators. So yeah, I was saying, Chad, to Frank before, that maybe I should put my videos up on IGTV as well. It doesn't have a search engine behind it or anything like that, but it might just be another place where I can keep my content, because, you know, if your channel gets shut down, where do you go, like, for my video content? It'd be good to have some place where I can go to as a backup. And if something gets shut down, it's good to have backup. Because I've got my podcast and all that as well, but it's pretty hard to do illustrating stuff on a podcast. Yeah, I think you basically just have to have a Chad's saying that all platforms are going to be important for creators. Yeah, I think the days of being a YouTube creator or being a Instagram influencer, or basically a platform specific anything, over. You need to kind of be across all platforms. Otherwise, you know, anything could happen and they'll pull the pin, and if it's your income, it's your business, it's what you're doing to survive, and it's just gone overnight. And you know, that part of it, in a sense, doesn't worry me as much. What does worry me is that the threat of a massive fine, like if they see your content as being labelled inappropriately and dishing out a gigantic fine, which would basically ruin me, because I don't have any money in the first place. Even if it just had to go to court, I couldn't afford court proceedings, even if I was right and it had to go to court. Tell you what, if I did have to go to court, though, you know, I'd have to try and get Viva Fry over to Australia. If ever I was in court and needed someone on my side, I'd want Viva Fry. You check out, do you know who Viva Fry is, Chad? He's very entertaining YouTube lawyer. Yeah, I have to check out his channel and see how many videos he's done on it. I don't know if he's covered it much yet, but I think I'm about done here, Chad. Thanks so much for joining me, and everyone else who joined me here. I've gone over an hour, but I'm happy with my stationery monsters. Kind of looking cool. I kind of like them coming down the hill like this. Down that way. Chasing after our Crumpet will be somewhere here on the next page, and then Elijah will be on the other page, so the other characters will be on the other page. So great to see you here, everyone. Awesome to see you. I need to try and drop in on your ones too, and hopefully I'll get to... All the lives that everyone else does seems to be in the middle of the night for me, so yeah, if it's a night where I'm up late sketching away, I'll check it out. But yeah, thanks for joining me, everyone, and catch you tomorrow. See ya.